Hi, welcome to the dumps for all your side needs such as sorbitol, maltitol, xylitol, mannitol, calcium carbonate, soy lynchin, vegetable-derived glycerin, talc. Anyway, this is the podcast for all the side needs, all the garbage that I don't have time to edit for much longer than a millisecond. And with me here today, I have ACritic. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm ACritic. I'm British. I'm a letterboxed user. That's where I'm
Ew,
most known
that's
for.
gross. Wow. Eh,
You're such a hypocrite. You have one too.
I do? I didn't know that.
Yes,
Huh.
you are Xander with a Z underscore.
Oh
Or is the
God.
underscore before the Z?
What a
I don't
cringe. What a cringe username. Who would do that?
remember.
But anyway,
I'm
yeah, that's you, right? You're on Letterboxd. I'll probably link
yes, I'm a
that.
letterboxed user.
Yeah. We're all fellow Oppenheimer. We all love film bro movies. We all enjoy those type of things. Anyway, we're here to
Oh,
talk
don't even
about
get started on Drive. Oh, Drive.
Drive. Good God. Great
This is
movie.
literally me.
Great movie, but literally me.
Hmm.
Anyway, we're here to not talk about art house or film bro movies. We're here to talk about quite the opposite. We have a blockbuster from Disney and also an adult animated comedy produced by Seth Rogen. And we're first going to talk about the bad movie, of course. We got to introduce the new stuff before, a favorite. So we're talking about Sausage Party. Um, what is your personal experience with Sausage Party over the years? Since I always usually like to talk about not just the movies themselves, but how the viewers experience them. So, what was your history with this movie before
What's
this?
my history?
Hmm.
I saw the trailer when it was coming out back in the day in like
Yeah.
2016, and it caused a bit of an old ruckus on the interwebs.
Ah,
Like,
yes.
oh my god, a cartoon that it's an animated film, but they're swearing. They're saying the fuck word.
It's
Oh wow
it's
wow wow.
it's as if they never heard of Adult Swim. It's crazy. Yeah.
Or South Park.
Or yeah, really any adult animation comedy within since 1989. I bet no one has heard of those. Crazy.
Uh, but no, film was coming out. I didn't see it, of course, because I wasn't old enough, and I was forbidden from watching
Aw.
films I wasn't old enough to watch. But
Well,
I still managed to see it anyway. Not in the cinemas though. I torrented it onto my iPad.
oh,
Yeah,
what type of iPad was it?
the very first iPad. I still
Oh,
had that knocking around in 2017.
oh, yeesh. Oh man. Ah, goodness gracious. How many times have you
Uh,
seen this now? This
how
movie?
many times have I seen this film? Well, there was the first time I watched it when I was 13, I think. Yeah,
Hmm. Prime
and
age.
then I'm pretty sure I watched it a few more times on that on that old iPad.
Hmm.
At least like three or four more times.
Oh,
Then
oh,
there was one.
oh. I think it was that much, but okay. Uh,
And there was one more time in 2020, years later, and then
oh.
I've watched it earlier this year once, and then I've watched it again for this.
Ah, I see. Um, Now, we all, some of us, or mainly our friend group, know about this 2020 watch where you reviewed it and gave it a 7 out of 10, which is
Hmm.
very infamous because it's also a review that's removed by moderators. So,
Yes, it is.
can you care to explain that? Because I myself have never seen the review or know what the context is to it myself.
I don't really know the specifics of why it got removed. I don't know if letterbox moderators like message you or anything, just say we've removed something like they do on YouTube. But
Hmm.
I went back to it like one day just to read it, and it just said this review has been removed. I was like, why'd that get removed? And then I realized when I wrote it, I used the R word like a
Oh.
couple times.
Oh,
Basically,
what?
what I said in the review the whole time, most of the review, all of it was just like one paragraph. I just said, I can't believe parents were enough to take their children to see this. Like, did you know how do you have to be? And it was like a whole laugh for just a paragraph, and then I signed it off with, yeah, this movie is good.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's it?
yeah.
I thought it'd be more dramatic
I
or
used
some shit.
I think I used it like a couple of times. I don't know if I got reported though, because somebody commented on the review and said, "Come on now, don't be using that word or something." I'm gonna have to go back to it now. Hold on.
Oh, Well, I guess that might have been the reason why. I guess they
I think
reported it.
someone might have reported the review because they didn't like the language I was using.
Ah, must be your mother. Wow, it's great.
No, she doesn't know. She doesn't know I've seen this.
Oh, she doesn't. Ah,
Still doesn't.
well, you
I don't
gotta,
even think I want to talk.
you
I don't
gotta,
even want to talk about. I
you
don't
got,
want to talk.
you gotta tell your
Oh,
mother about the ending. It's great.
here we go. Here we go. I found it now.
Ah,
Posted in two parts. Come on, lad. No need. Expect better from you, ACritic. And,
ah,
and then I checked back. Like, a couple months later, it was gone.
wow.
I was like, oh damn.
Well, I guess it's just banned for poor usage of words. Well, we can all be forgiven for that, I guess.
Yeah. I always like to think because I rated it 3.5. I thought, oh, they must
No,
have removed it because I'm I gave a positive review. But then there's people like other people have given it way higher than I did.
yeah, that's like, oh, nah. Letterboxd are just a bunch of dictators. They always gotta restrict. Why do you think Across the Spider Verse is in top 10 of all time? It's not because it was good or anything. It's just because Letterboxd excuses it.
What are you talking about? They updated the rating thing, and it's not even number one anymore. It's back. It's down to number 8
Uh,
now.
if it was still number one, I'd be kind of pissed because it's not a perfect movie. Trust me. And so I guess Letterboxd just really wants to monitor everything without being a dictatorship, I guess. So I guess it wasn't because of your opinion. It wasn't because of really anything really offensive. You just used words that weren't particularly, nice. But that's not even that big of a deal, I guess. Um.
Mm,
Oh well. But uh. So for me, this is my first time watching it, unlike you, which is probably your
I know.
tenth time or something.
If you round up, it's probably the 10th time.
Oh god.
I can't remember every single watch.
Hmm. Well, you probably have a couple of iPad watches you buried in your memory. But um so I watched this not alone. I actually watched it with you, and it was
Mm-hmm.
not my original plan, but I think it ended up going well. Because if I watched this on my own, I probably would have enjoyed it way less. Cause I I wouldn't have any idea of what to make of it. Now,
Probably why the rest of my friends all gave it half stars because they watched it all by
yeah,
themselves.
probably. But yeah, watching it together was fun. It was a fun movie, and there's a lot of people who either say this is a genius movie or a really bad and immoral movie, and I'm kind of like in the middle between those things, and so I think the movie tries a surprising amount of really interesting ideas. I did not expect the whole racial tension and tolerating different views and religion. It's kind of like more oral if you really think about
Hey,
it.
I said that. I said it was moral oral. You said don't compare it to moral oral.
Well, now I'm stealing it, and yeah,
Scandal.
I know, scandalous. But this is a movie that handles it with as much subtlety and respect as a mule shitting itself. It does not handle it the best, and if you're willing to argue this is completely terrible as message, you're not wrong. But also, it's not like the worst way they could have gone about it. There is much worse ways you could have handled the whole racial subject. I don't know how they could have done that in any other way that wasn't a bit weird. But
I don't think it's much about racism. I think it's just mostly just centered on religion.
yeah, I guess
Because
religion, because like, oh, the
this film is
humans are the
abundant with
gods.
racist stereotypes.
Oh God, no. Okay, so if we're gonna talk about the racial stereotypes, those are quite fun. Um, First, of course, we have Hitler. Yeah, Hitler just appears in this movie. No joke. He appears for one scene where he just does his whole thing in the imitation, and another scene at the end. Spoilers: there's an orgy at the end, and he gets fucked in the ass. Um, in like, but very briefly, you can like see it as like they pan around all the different people getting fucked, and that's already enough to be like what. But then this guy, I forget the Native American's name, but he appears in like the bushes.
Firewater,
Yeah, Firewater. Oh God.
Bill Hader's character.
I hope Bill Hader doesn't. I hope he feels proud of this. God. And then there's the brief Chinese stereotypes, and then there's the there's the Jewish bagel voiced by Edward Norton of all people.
Sammy Bagel Jr. I
Yes,
think his name is.
Sammy Bagel Jr. and his Afghan friend, from the Middle East, Saudi or whatever. He
Uh,
shows up. He's a terrorist. He's portrayed in the most stereotypical way possible. It's very, it's treading the line between the immature sensibilities of like a regular Seth Rogen comedy, and then also it's saying, oh, tolerating other people's views and standing up for your own ways of living and religion and being able to, I guess, interact with each other, and that all culminates by basically killing their gods and then and then all coming together, if you get what I'm saying. And so, oh my god, that was hard to process because I didn't think this movie would actually have a message, but it surprisingly does. And what the hell? I don't fucking. It's not handled the best, but I can't say they didn't try. They tried something. What do you think about the message of it? Um,
what do I think about? Honestly, I feel like they bring it up at the very end, and then I feel like it forgets about it just to go straight into the action at the very end. Because I feel like they were getting somewhere, and then they just cut straight into the action. They don't ever address it, and then they get meta at the very end, and no, they just forget about it.
yeah, no, they just what they do is basically they say the message and they proclaim it in the most obvious way possible, and then they let the rest of the film play out in the most juvenile way possible. As someone
I
who's
mean,
very young, I think it's kind of funny. Like, okay, there's some creative things to this movie, but it's not, used for like any smart or regular commentary that's taken seriously. It's under this like fucking, I guess, how do I describe this? There's this like immature like 13-year-old edgy filter over its entire runtime, and
oh yeah.
you can either say it's kind of funny unintentionally or intentionally, whatever you which, or it's just really painful to sit through. And
It's why I watched it so many times when I was 13. I love the shit out of this film because it's 13-year-old sensibilities in this film.
yeah, it's like a it's like a 13-year-old trying to talk about SJW issues. That's what it feels like. And it's like, oh, I guess they didn't completely fail. It's like if you give like your student a D, it's like you passed, but you didn't do a very good job either. You sort of got there, but you didn't go all the way. It's like that type of deal.
Mm.
You could try to describe it as. And oh, I've been running my mouth for a while, but yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, even long after I've seen it. It's not insulting. I don't think it's insulting to the
I don't
sense of.
know. A lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people are very much insulted by the film. Even people who are in our friend group, they think it is like, horrible.
Yeah, like
It
horrifying
is
and like
like
immoral or some shit.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get you. I get you. Yeah, the message isn't handled very well. It's a very you have to be a certain type of audience, by which I mean a 13-year-old who's seen a ton of porn and violence and sex on TV, if you get what I'm saying. And, you
Mm.
know, I know you for being quite a horny fellow. You have your own tendencies once in a while. I don't want to go into detail about it.
Ah, well, no, no,
well,
come on.
well, you're open about it in your reviews, so I don't think I'm not allowed to not say
What are
it.
you talking about? In where? Go on, give me one example.
Hmm. Shall I talk about the horny server, or should we keep that
Well,
Tucker?
technically, I did not start that. I inherited that.
Yeah, but you kept it around.
Why wouldn't I keep it around? There's some awesome stuff in that server that we
There
gotta
it is.
keep.
We gotta keep it.
Oh yeah,
Oh man, great
slime
stuff.
girl debate. Gotta keep the slime girl debate.
Oh god. Oh yeah. Or just earlier we talked about Smashy Pokemon. So I don't know.
Oh,
We
that went
we
on for way too long. That was
that was
ridiculous.
it was 2 hours worth of us just scrolling through every single fucking Pokemon. It was
I feel
incredible.
like most of them you all passed on.
Well, not most of them. I like Arceus. He's hot. And that's meant
I
to be
don't.
the god of all Pokemon, so that's a bit weird. I know. Mmm, ain't that
But
fun?
even could you know about Pokemon, right? Because
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
I'm I'm
I'm
I'm not a fan
I'm
at all.
like the average person who hasn't played the games. Like I know
Right.
there's Pikachu, there's Bulbasaur, there's actually the full extent to my Pokemon knowledge is this random YouTube series. It's called Starters, by Dane
Mhm.
Prousnick slash Movie Unleasher. Shout him out. He's great. I like his channel. It's not he makes those dark, edgy like animated parodies, and there's just like there's a whole backstory to all of that. So if I want to go into that, it'll take like 40 minutes at most. I don't know. But, basically he had this Pokemon series about a bunch of Pokemon starters as they go down hijinks such as heading into a basically poltergeist town where there's dead people. There's like dead parents trying to lure in kids to sacrifice themselves to keep themselves as ghosts, basically.
Mhm.
Or there's an episode where rare candies, which are those like health or like power boost stuff in like Pokemon or some shit, those are the equivalent of steroids and drugs in this Pokemon series. So yeah,
Yeah.
I basically grew up with that type of dark shit. So I guess that you explain why I kind of find Sasha's Party funny, and I'm more tolerant towards it. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I guess our Smash or Pass discussion really led into the whole Sasha's Party thing. And
Hmm.
all I'm saying is just like, yeah, um, I've had a lot to say, but I think you should speak for yourself since you've seen this 10 times. So,
Oh god, I think I dumped it all out in my when I watched it earlier in the year. I think I
mm,
said I think it utilizes the animation medium really well.
mm.
And there's stuff in here that's like animated really well. There's good sight gags.
Well, yeah, there's good
It,
transition gags. The Peaches one, that one's good.
oh yeah.
One of the really good ones. Mm.
But yeah, no, I think it does. It like takes advantage of the fact that that it is animated and uses it how it should be.
Yeah,
It's not
no.
like how this doesn't really have a reason to be animated. This could just be in live action. No, no, this would look horrible in live action.
Oh,
Perfect that it's an
oh god.
animation.
Imagine a Seth Rogen sausage. Oh god.
CG, I bet.
Ooh.
CGI
Ooh.
CGI sausage.
Oh
No.
god. Oh, that wouldn't look right.
Oh no no no. Um, I mean, when I watched it back, I thought this is bad, but I still kind of enjoy it.
Mm?
And even when we watched it last night,
Uh huh.
or yeah, it was last night, right?
Yeah, for you at least.
Yeah, yeah. When I watched it with you, I feel like I enjoyed it more
Mm?
because I think I was watching it with someone else who had never seen it. I knew what was coming up. You didn't. I
Yeah.
think that made it more fun. I'm
Yeah.
not sure,
I don't
but
know.
yeah,
Yeah, watching movies with other people is more fun. It's like, especially when you've watched it
especially.
before. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh yeah,
Uh, Let me tell you,
but yeah. It was a lot.
doing like two Ruby Gilman watch parties back to back was real fun. Mm.
Oh my god, what'd you do that for?
I'm doing the Ruby Gilman video, so that'll be out like
Oh
su-
man.
super long. I don't know. I barely even finished the intro.
And how do you go? How do you go from the Last Wish to that? I've not seen it yet, but it just looks like a downgrade.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. The Last Wish is really odd to me because it's like, yeah, it sets a precedent, and DreamWorks will probably like use that as an example of what to do in their future. But The Last Wish wasn't the only film that they announced like at the time. They have Trolls 3 and
Oh, dude.
Ruby Gilman. So like, yeah. The thing about Ruby Gilman is it could have been great, but there's like a lot of potential in that. Unlike something like Elemental, which was an already a broken concept from Wade Ripple to Wade Ripple to Wade Ripple, and so it's like okay, Ruby Gilman, she's like this awkward teenager, right? And
Hmm.
so she has like her own social issues, and she wants to go to the prom. That's like your typical setup, and it's like, okay, this is serviceable. And then they do the crack and stuff, and it gets really, really fine. There's this EDP uncle guy.
What?
Have you never heard of the uncle of Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken?
No, I don't.
He's
I
basically
don't.
he's basically the EDP 445 of the Ruby Gilman universe.
Wow.
Uh,
I don't know what to say to that. I'll be honest.
have you seen the Ruby Gilman trailer?
I've seen like one of them.
Okay, so if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the whole movie then.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah, so basically you could just say, yeah, I definitely watched it. Because the trailer basically exposes the entire movie, all its twists, all its characters, and all its motivations. And
But that's like every trailer
yeah,
these days.
especially Ruby Gilman. Because Ruby Gilman feels like a movie that was like 2 hours long. But then DreamWorks came in, they went by their offices, the Gilman office, and they were like, hey, can I chop your fingers off? And it's
Its
like,
own designated office.
yeah, it sounds like a great office. And it's like, oh, yeah, we're just gonna cut your fingers off. We're gonna cut that runtime. You're done. We're gonna send this out to die, like after a already busy month of June. Like June had like a new release every single week. It was fucking crazy. Oh,
Oh no.
yeah. If we're gonna talk about June 2023 movies, that would take even longer. But yeah, something like Ruby Gilman doesn't try, or at least it was incapable of being able to try because of DreamWorks. And then you have
Hmm.
like why did I say Ruby Gilman twice? I meant Sausage Party, which is not very good at all of its things it does, but it's like it tried. I don't know. It was funny, but yeah,
It is.
I don't know. Ruby Gilman, you kind of have to make jokes out of the movie, but for Sasha's Party, it speaks for itself. I think.
It really. I don't think we took the piss out of it once. I think we just sat there and just let it wash over us when when we watched it yesterday.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, it's over. A bunch of it was just me just reacting to things
I know, like
happening.
what?
It's,
Well, there's me just pissing myself on the other end.
uh, because when we first watched it, it was a very crowded VC, and then we had to restart it, and then it's like,
Ugh.
okay, I can sit down, and we watched those first 50 minutes, and I can't say that I wasn't enjoying it because the whole time it was like they put effort into this. The animation looks nice. Um, the
Well,
music,
sometimes it does.
well, sometimes it does.
I noticed on my earlier rewatch it kind of like fluctuates. Some
Oh,
of it looks good, and then some of it just looks like unfinished a bit and
I
unpolished,
think
and
it's
then some
mainly
of
the
it will look
backgrounds.
fine.
The backgrounds look very basic. Sometimes it's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
And there's like, then the designs. It works for the most part, but
I
goodness
think all the
gracious,
food looks great. All the food characters are great. The humans, though, I mean, what do you think about the humans?
they look like Marmaduke 2022 characters. That's all I have to say. They just look like Marmaduke 2022 humans.
I said,
have you seen it? Have you seen that movie?
I have not. Why would I watch that?
I feel like you randomly would. I don't know why. I just have a feeling you would.
Oh man, that's a 2022 release, and I'm not watching that now.
Aw. Well,
The
that
moment's gone.
sucks. No. You.
I think I said somewhere when we watched the film last night. I said they look like big mouth characters. In
Oh. Well, you want to talk
I'm not
about
sure about that though.
your big mouth opinions?
Oh no, come on.
This is the time. This is your episode. You get to talk about it. Cause
I mean, yeah, I know people don't like Big Mouth. I guess that's fine. But when I watch it, I think it's okay. But I could cite you like three other animated Netflix shows that are 1,000 times worse that aren't even funny.
Uh huh.
Big Mouth, Big Mouth gets like a laugh out of me at least like 3 times an episode, and I watched it since season 2,
Mhm.
and I've been keeping up ever since it has like a new season out. I feel like I'm just in for the long ride at this point, so I just got to
Oh.
see it out to the end.
Okay.
I'm way too invested in all the characters now. I got to see how it ends.
what type
But
of
like even
character
then,
are you invested in? Because I've heard of stuff such as one of them having an incestuous relationship with their cousin, or the pillow
oh I
pregnancy or whatever
oh
the hell
yeah
happened,
yeah.
or
My
oh
favorite
god.
character in Big Mouth is Andrew,
Mhm.
voiced by John Mulaney.
Uh huh.
He's the one who has the masturbation obsession.
Oh god.
He's great. He's great. He's my favorite character.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, he's just funny. I like John Mulaney. I like
I mean,
everything he
yeah.
does.
Okay. I
I
must
like his
say,
character in that as well.
the one John Mulaney comedy special I've seen in full, that's a really good special. I love that one so much.
It
Very
is.
good.
That's a the what was it? Baby J. Yeah,
Yeah,
Baby J is really good.
Baby J's really good. Um, I like the way it uses it
Oh,
as like a half therapy session and also as like a sort of just like, it's just he's back, he's back. It's great. Even though I
mm,
have no context for the other specials, but that's cool. Really cool
mm.
special.
But yeah, the thing about Big Mouth is that like I can see why people don't like it, but I can say it's better than like all the other like crappy Netflix originals they put out because at least there's a point. They're saying something. There's like in season 4, the whole like theme of season 4 was about anxiety,
Uh huh.
and some of it was like wow, that was kind of affecting. I kind of liked that. Season 4 kind of hit home in a bit of place, and I know it's ridiculous to say that about Big Mouth and things, but I thought,
Wait, wasn't there like talking pillows? I gotta bring it up again. The talking
oh, you got to
pillows.
talk about the pillows. That was that's another character, Jay, who's
Uh-huh.
voiced by Jason Mantzoukas. I think that's
Oh,
his name.
yeah, I think that's his name.
He's typecast now. I'm already calling it. He's already been playing the loud characters who swear a lot because everything I've seen him in, that's who he plays.
Oh,
In Big Mouth, he is the character who's very loud and swears a lot. In Invincible, Rex Explode, is it?
yeah, oh yeah, explosion or whatever.
The loud character who swears a lot.
Yeah, he's like
In
the toxic
have you
boyfriend.
seen American the Motion Picture, the animated film
I've
on
heard of
Netflix?
it. It sounds like like very boring shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
he plays the loud character who swears a lot in that too.
oh, oh man.
It's ridiculous. I was like, oh man, is this all he's playing now?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well.
no, he's the character who's a magician, and and his pillow is alive, and he makes love to his pillow, and it's like a whole thing, and it goes off on its own different thing about how he's bisexual and he's dealing with that, and it goes on for like seasons.
What?
It's a whole thing.
Oh my.
All because he bangs his pillow.
The, what? And you said season 4 is really hitting home for the whole
I just
anxiety
thought
thing.
season 4 was really well done with what it was trying to say about anxiety. I thought it was just done really well. About all the other seasons, I don't know. All right, I'd have to rewatch everything from the beginning to get like a proper analytic perspective. But season 4, I thought did really well with what they were doing with anxiety.
So it's like it all ties back with all the characters and all that. It's like, oh, they
Yeah,
all have.
they all face anxiety in some sort of way, and it all
Uh,
like comes to a head in the final episode.
oh, in which way? I wonder how. Cause
Trust me, the final episodes of every Big Mouth season are just ridiculous.
oh, really? This is always like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Just every final episode is just like, yeah, we're just gonna go
they
off.
even call
Ham.
they even call it out because they fourth wall break quite a lot in the show,
Oh,
and I think at around like season 6 or 7, they like call it out. Like, yeah, every have you ever noticed how every final episode is like fucking stupid?
uh,
I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, it is.
you
It really
can't
is stupid.
you can't hurt me if I'm in on the joke. You know that type of thing. Yeah.
No. At least Big Mouth is funny. Chippendale Rescue Rangers was just miserable.
Oh, that was a miserable movie. I saw. Okay, the main thing that happened was I went over to my friend's house the day it released, and we had a fun
Yeah.
time. But for our final venture, we all sat down. We went on Disney Plus and we watched Chip and Dale. Um, one of them said, "This is one of the most painful things in my life. Why did you do this to me, Xander?" The other one said, This is really boring. What the fuck is this? Another one of them said, "This is not how to make a movie." Just straight up, just this is not how you make a movie. Which I can't not. I kind of agree on that, but yeah, I guess Big Mouth to some extent with its meta humor is like, oh, we're just pointing it out. But I guess for you, it's just like, oh, it's funny, it's fine, you can excuse it. But yeah,
Is
it's
I don't
just
know.
I don't know. As someone who's exposed to a bunch of like fucking adult comedies and something like Big Mouth, even something like Big Mouth, I'm just kind of like, this just doesn't sound funny. I mean, sometimes I can be brain dead and be like, boobs, booze, sex, that type of thing. But sometimes it really just doesn't work for me, and I don't see
Mm,
Big Mouth heavily appealing to me. So I don't know.
that's fair enough.
But have you seen the what was it, human resources thing? The human
I
resource
didn't
show?
watch that at all. That completely passed me by. I don't know why I didn't watch it, but I think it's just because I wasn't interested.
Oh,
But it doesn't impact on the rest of the season. They just reference it like, "Hey, did you watch Human Resources? This is what happened in between." And it's like, "Oh, okay. No, I don't need to watch it."
yeah. Apparently they like cross paths with like a pregnancy or something, like something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. The main hormone monster gets pregnant, and it's like a whole thing. I was like, "Oh, all right. So that's what we're dealing with this season."
Yeah, I remember Ellis Mark talking about that. And another thing he talked about is how he's like, oh, human resources was like surprisingly good in parts, but then also really bad in other parts.
Is that the LS Mark video? Because
Yeah,
I remember, I think I watched that. Yeah, yeah. He said Human Resources was like fairly good. I was like, "What? Really?"
yeah. That
Hmm.
was surprising for him. I thought he wouldn't like it at all. It's crazy.
Mm.
I don't
Because a
know.
lot of people say the hormone monsters are like the worst characters,
Yeah,
and I feel like really a whole show with just them, that I don't think that's going to appeal to anyone because everyone always says they hate all the hormone monster characters.
I mean, one of them was voiced by Nick Kroll, who's also
Yeah,
in
Nick Kroll
Sasha's
voices the main
Party.
one.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, his voice works for me in small doses, like in Captain Underpants, but when it's all the time, I think I want to punch him in the face really
What
hard.
about Sausage Party? Because he's the main villain in that.
Yeah, him as the main villain. We had a very strong origin story with him. Him being a douche. Going around being a douche. That's the whole joke. That's it. That's all we got. You guys can go home. And his villain introduction for realsies is he sucks basically the juice, and I guess like the properties of any food just enhances like muscles, like really any food. Because I remember when he like
He,
collects all that like different like juices, they're not all the
he's
same. It's
juice.
just
He's juicing up, bro.
yeah, it's
You get
juicing
it?
up.
It's like steroids.
This is steroids. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like that's the whole joke. Okay, is there anything else? No, he's just a douche because he's a douche.
Both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, yeah. The writers should win an Oscar for that one. Wow.
All five of them.
Oh, five of them.
Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, that's two of them. Evan Goldberg was another one. I don't know about the other two though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was at least one woman on the writing team though.
I guess that one woman. I hope that one woman pitched the orgy ending. That'd be funny if it was. But yeah, the whole it's just kind of just a bunch of talk about adult animation stuff. But yeah, um, Sausage Party is basically the theatrical culmination of a bunch of like really immature just adult programming of something like the late 2000s. It really does feel like
Nutshack.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Or just
Well, actually, no. The Nutshack doesn't have any point to make. It's not trying to say anything. It's just trying to be
yeah, no,
as
that's
vulgar as
yeah, no. I
possible.
heard Nutchuck's just straight up revolting for no reason, which
I,
sounds
I
funny.
can't even sit through like a whole. I watched the first two episodes of the Nutshack, and then I tried watching past. I just can't be bothered to just carry on. It's just not worth it.
I think YMS likes it or something. That's funny.
I'm not even surprised.
He has really weird taste. Good for him. But you know, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, Barbie's better than Oppenheimer.
I mean, a lot of people have said Barbie's better than Oppenheimer. That's fair enough. You enjoyed it.
I could talk about Barbie, but I feel like if that happened, a certain individual would come and cut my throat. So
Who's that? Who's that certain individual?
I'll explain after we finish this recording. I don't want to cause a public stir. Yeah,
Oh, okay then.
but yeah, this is a movie that feels like early Adult Swim programming, where there's not
Mm.
really a point. They weren't mainstream, and their whole point and their only way they feel like they could be popular is by being vulgar or really weird. Like
Hmm.
Aqua Teen, I don't think it survived because of its incredible story or characters. It's just kind of fun. It's probably just kind of funny, which that sounds good. If Aqua Teen's just like funny all the time, I'm just like fine with that. Sounds like a
Hmm.
fun show, but yeah, it's just like it does have a point to make where it's like, oh, it's a supermarket, get it? Because it's like commercialization of cartoons and how they've been commodified and been sent to like the slaughters basically for our entertainment and our amusement. And it's like, oh, wow, that's a really obvious metaphor when you think about it for like 2 minutes or something.
You
And,
keep reaching too hard. I didn't even see any of that
well, Silent Dawn
in
saw
the.
it. If we're gonna
Oh,
talk,
Silent Dawn saw it.
Silent Dawn has a really good review on this movie, I must say, where he says it's just very deep and has a very well done message underneath its vulgar humor, which half true, half true, because okay, I think the religion and like tolerance of all religions and all like people and their beliefs, I think that would work much better without the vulgarity or like the racial stereotypes every second. It'd be much
Hmm.
better if there was like more appropriate. I get like all the characters can be funny, but they don't need to be racial stereotypes. Like, come on. And they don't like. There's no like breathing room for that because a lot of it is like held together by that immature humor, which is why it's entertaining, but at the same time it's not substantive.
Mm.
And I don't know. I go between either thinking this is a kind of bad movie to good, but yeah, it's probably a kind of bad movie because just overall could have handled the message a lot better. Visually, it looks really cool, I think. There's a lot of really interesting ways they like transition shots and the way they frame everything. It's really interesting how they made this movie. But if also the animation studio was overworked because of that, but we can just ignore that. We can ignore that. That's fine.
I think that's another reason why people don't like it because they overwork the workers to make that.
They're working 24/7 for that ending. Man,
Yeah,
wow.
that's what I've seen a lot. When people said they don't like the film, they had to animate that.
Yeah, that's fair. In terms of like outside of like other circumstances, I mean, I don't know. It's like for me, I didn't reveal a rating on Letterboxd, but overall, it's a 4 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 10. Um,
Is that a heart as well?
with a heart, yeah. And
Woohoo!
it's a fun movie. Would I ever revisit it? I'm not sure. If I grow to an adult and just get really drunk, then maybe. If it's just with friends in general, I think it'd be fun as well. I'd
Yes,
recommend
well,
watching this
please watch
movie.
it, friends.
Please watch with friends. If you watch this alone, that's just very sad. I think the saddest thing you possibly could do. Cause
Hmm.
if you
Like
watch,
me.
it's oh, 10 times on that iPad. Wow,
Yep, by myself.
by yourself. But yeah, I think it's worth a watch just for what it's trying to be. I guess Sausage Party works more as a like vague statement than an execution or as an overall movie. Because if you just look at the pure story, what are you gonna get out of this again? Because it's hard to think about besides like just from a basic fundamental story. You don't really get anything out of it because there's not a lot of time to get something out of that. But
Hmm.
it's a quick comedy. It's like really any other Seth Rogen comedy except up to 11, just because it's animation. They just want to do that because of the stereotype about animation being a genre, not a medium, and how it's only for kids. But at the same time, it's like it's both harmful and also like protesting against the idea of it. So it's both effective and not effective. I don't know how to fucking try to think it out. Um, do you think
May
this
I?
was? Do you think this had a
May I?
good impact? Do you think this had a good impact overall
A good impact on what?
on like animation as a whole? Because this is what it's trying to be. It's what it's trying to
Um,
do.
I mean, it was big for like a week when it came out, and then no one talked about it anymore, except for like people like us who bring
Yeah,
it up because it was big for when it came out.
I
Of
remember.
course, there's the TV show coming out,
Oh
so
yeah,
there's that.
was it on Amazon or something? I forgot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an Amazon Prime exclusive.
There's so many streaming services. I can't keep up. remember when
Although I
um
don't know if
remember when
it might
Paramount
have been
Plus
pushed
was
back due to the
CBS All
writer's strike,
Access?
though.
Yeah,
The
probably.
show.
No, most definitely. Remember when Paramount Plus was called CBS All Access? Great times. Mm,
Mm.
but yeah.
But
Whatever this whatever this season
I don't
two.
think it's had a big impact on animation. Aside from the TV show, no one looks to this for reference. Like how Into the Spider Verse has gone and like inspired all these other animated projects since. Sausage Party has done fucking nothing.
Really? Um.
Nope.
Nope. Nothing. Really nothing. Sausage Party came
Do
and
you?
went. It like I guess it made a mark in for like a week. I guess it had its time, somewhat.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it had an impact?
No, not really. It kind of hindered the impact of animation, sort of, because it's so immature that its message didn't come across entirely, and that's why parents were just like, "It swears. There's an orgy at the end of the movie." Like, okay, I guess you missed the entire message, and I guess they sort of failed in a way.
And also, you took your child to see this, where just no.
Why would you do that?
That's that's just stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of like those people. It's just parents in general just don't know how to read. Just read ratings. It's like literally like up to 3 words or digits at this point. So I don't know why you guys are having such a difficult time trying to process that. So it's PG
It's like Barbie in a
13
way.
or R. It's like that's so
Mm.
easy to remember. But
If
no.
it's animated, it must be for kids. So at least it's done that. Like no, just because it's animated doesn't mean it's for children.
It's just this weird thing where it's like, okay, how are you supposed to destroy that stigma? I don't know really the exact answer for that, but I guess it was just an attempt to do that. But it didn't, I guess, clearly communicate it entirely because of how immature it was. So then it just ended up being like a fad, just kind of
Really?
existed.
Yeah.
Could have been much
And
better.
like bit like Barbie in a way, because when I went to see Barbie, there were a lot of children in my screening, and I thought, I mean, I wouldn't say this is really for like little kids, but there was like quite a lot of kids when I went to see Barbie. I was like, really? And as the film went on, they were just like bored out of their minds, and there was like one kid that got started getting up and running around during the last half hour. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh yeah, that's what I thought would happen.
yeah.
Just because it's Barbie doesn't mean it for kids. Watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer, guys. But even then, the trailers are very cryptic as well, so I don't know.
But even then, I thought like all the stuff with Mattel and all the stuff people were saying about it's like, I feel like this would be better for like if you're like an older child.
That's why
Like if
it's,
you're 10 and up,
that's why it's
ten
PG
and up, you'll be
13.
all right.
Yeah. I think some people like cried at Barbie. I don't get you, but sure. Good power to you. Power
Yeah,
to
it's
you.
just because you're not a girl.
Yeah. No, that would
Neither
make
am I.
sense. It's uh, it's it's a bit frustrating, but you know, I don't know. I guess even just kids movies, like animated kids movies, communicate that the animation is more mature than you think, without having to
Mm.
be like Sausage Party. I just the one thing that might actually further motivate R-rated instead of something like, I guess, animated comedies, I think it would be something like what Sony's doing. They're apparently releasing like animated R-rated movies soon, so that's gonna be interesting.
Oh no.
I think that they're having a better track record, and I think they have a couple directors who I can trust on those movies. So I'm not like anticipating it, but I'm not dreading it either because I just want like adult animation just without the comedy, like something like Primal or More Oral, which like just are really depressing things, just depressing pieces
Moral
of
is
media.
also kind of funny as well.
Well, yeah, More Oral is funny, but then it transitions by season three into this fucking depressing, sad, like existential piece of media. I don't know how that happened that quickly, but it's great. I
It's a bit
hope.
like BoJack Horseman too. That also is funny, but that also just gets miserable towards the end.
Yeah, it's yes, BoJack. I could talk about BoJack and its humor, but you don't. I don't need to talk about that. If you can look at my serialize if you want to know my controversial opinions on on the
Oh, I
series.
know all of you don't. I know all of you don't like BoJack. You all gave up watching it, or halfway through season two. You didn't even get to episode
I
11.
think it gets better after season three because
It does.
they handled the comedy a lot better. Except for what was it? I think I don't really like the what time is it right now CEO thing. I don't really like that much. It was sort of funny, but it just kind of drags on.
Mm.
And yeah, I guess the really only thing about this movie is just kind of went by.
Yeah, it went by. It was a thing. Everyone got outraged for a week, and then it just went away. And now
It's
there's a TV show coming out that I don't know if anybody was waiting for.
it's a funny movie sometimes. I think it has creative stuff in it. Um, when the two carts converge and every food just drops down. There's this really neat sequence where they parody like Saving Private Ryan and how like the dude picks off his arm, but instead it's like an Oreo like cookie. It's funny. I think
Yeah,
there's neat visual gags. Not the dialogue. I hate the dialogue sometimes, but sometimes it's just like unintentionally funny. But
Frank, move your fucking ass.
they say fuck like every 5 seconds. I swear to God.
That's the first word of the film when they wake up. Fuck, fuck, fuck! Wait, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, guys! The song's about to start. Fuck! Oh, holy shit! Was I out? Oh no, no! It's just about to start. Oh shit!
They just say fuck every single time,
It's
and I
not
don't
word
think
for word, but
I feel like only drunk people would say fuck that much. Like, there's no way
or a
people actually
13-year
talk
old.
on this, or a 13-year-old. Yeah. Oh, COD lobbies. But yeah, this.
Nah, man, COD lobbies are racist.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Fuck. Oh, so many N-word drops. Oh my god. I want to live in that time. I really do. That sounds fun, but it's like no one says fuck that much. It doesn't feel natural. It just feels like
'Cause the fuck word is
superficial.
funny, Sander.
It's just superficial. It's, I mean, yeah, fuck is funny when you just say it sometimes, but no, most of the time it's like, no, where's the funny? Where's the joke here? What's the point anymore? I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not really frustrated with this movie. I'm just kind of baffled that it just exists in general and that it did nothing and kind of both acknowledged and also kind of ruined animation at the same time. I don't know what it did. It did nothing. I don't know. In the moment, it was kind of funny, but I don't know. After thinking about it, just it hurts my brain, and I don't know what to do anymore with myself.
Yeah, you just don't ever have to watch it again. That's fine. Just save this one experience and just tuck it away.
I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast. You get to talk about one of your favorites, and then you also can talk about whatever new thing that I force you to watch, or I force myself to watch. You seem to enjoy yourself. You're fine. I the previous episode, both guests or both people were tortured. Only I was tortured by my mind. I am I'm losing track of everything. I think I've been talking for so long about this movie that you're probably just watching with like popcorn. This is just this is kind of sad, but yeah. Um. Uh. Uh. Yeah, it's a four. If I were to use my titular Xander scale, uh, I think it'd be. Let me think about this. It's either a low ball, so like 42. It's a 42 out of 100. Sure, why not? Um, I think people should watch this movie. Acknowledge it. It exists. Don't forget it. Let's not forget the orgy scene, which I could talk about for like 20 minutes at most. That orgy scene. The one thing about the orgy scene I want to cover is the one combination where the fucking Seth Rogen hot dog gets strapped onto the other dude. I forget which was it. The taco guy? Was it the Islam
It was
guy?
Salma Hayek taco
Oh, it's somehow like taco, and it goes to both the bagel, the Islam guy,
hot dog hot
yeah,
dog bun,
the hot dog
and
bun.
then goes
Uh,
straight into the tortilla wraps
yeah,
crotch, and it's like
that's
this.
such a creative fucking orgy. That was great. Oh man, there's some creative deaths in this movie. Come on, there's so many creative deaths. Oh.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. I know people who say that's like the most disgusting thing they've ever seen, and I'm like,
No, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's not even that gross. Go on Pornhub, and it'll be much worse. Come on, like go on Roll
yeah, no.
34 and search up like Nicole Watterson. That'll be even worse. Like, there's so much worse shit out there. There's so much worse shit. This is like low. Go watch Solo. That's probably more disturbing than anything. Go watch fucking
I
Megan is
think because the
Missing.
Solo is like because it's like real life and it's not presented as funny. But
Yeah,
this is just silly.
this is just silly and sadistic because it's funny. And some
Yeah.
of it works, some of it doesn't, mainly in its message. But if you're looking for like a Seth Rogen comedy, which is basically means I want to get high as fuck and watch something, then just watch this. Why not? Even watch
Yeah.
just even you could even watch this without anything, and you'll still feel like you're going high because it's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I feel like I've been saying the same shit over and over again, but yeah, this is a really crazy movie. I did not. It's not. I got something out of this, and I'll never forget it. But I'm probably not gonna rewatch it anytime soon.
I don't know. I will give this film. Well, the last time I watched it, I gave it a 4.
Hmm.
I'm considering bumping it up to a 5 because I had a way more fun time watching it with friends. But I don't know
Yeah,
yet. I think it might just stay as a 4,
I think staying
stuck in
as a
the heart.
four. Yeah, both of us fours. That works.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
fair
it's a
enough.
fair Randy. It happened. Uh, Sasha's Party. You know what? I'll say it. Sasha's Party was not a nothing movie. It was not Evil Dead Rise. Um,
Oh,
Sasha's
Evil Dead Rise was fine.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise was fine. It was fun. If you for the audience, you wouldn't get that, but yes, Evil Dead Rise, fun movie. A Sausage Party was not a nothing movie. It's a movie that exists. It's a movie that's kind of funny to think about. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about a much better movie. Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. That's a mouthful of one. This movie is you chose this as your favorite pick to get on to talk about. So
Mhm.
I'll just let you take the reign on all of this. I think I just want to hear you talk about this one because
Pirates of the Curse of the
yeah.
Black Pearl. Let's get this going.
What's your personal
Um,
experience? What's your personal experience with this movie?
my
First.
personal experience with this film. Well, I've watched it for years and years. I've watched it since I was a wee little child.
Hmm.
Um, it's been a favorite for like years. I like all the Pirates of the Caribbean films except the fourth and fifth one. I
Ah.
used to watch all 3 of them on loop for like a
Nice.
good long while when I was a kid.
Nice.
I used to say the second one was my favorite, but as I've gotten older and I've rewatched them all, no, Curse of the Black Pearl is the best one. I
Hmm.
think objectively, it's the most solid
Ah.
the of the lot.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
seen
not
the
saying
full
like
trilogy.
the second or third one are bad, but I
Oh,
just think the first one is just like a lot more focused.
that makes sense. Cause
And also, it's 20 years old this year, so I thought, hey,
yeah,
it seems about right.
seems
Let's
about
do it.
time. Yeah, they re-released it in theaters too, so it's like, yeah, it's fitting. Um, I haven't seen the trilogy, but it seems to me most people say that either this or Dead Man's Chest is the best one, and so I'm
Everyone says Dead Man's Chest is the best one, and that's fair enough.
yeah.
I feel like it's only me who only says the first one's the best one.
Well, I
But
think
everybody is in agreement that the fourth and fifth one are just dookie.
oh yeah, I've heard the fifth one was like really bad. There's like a Paul McCartney cameo and like Javier
There's a Paul
Bardem.
McCartney cameo in that one.
Oh, weird. That's a weird out of place cameo. And there's also Javier Bardem as the villain. Strange decision.
He sucks as the villain.
Aw, man, he's a great actor. Ah. But yeah, this first movie is it's great. I don't love it, and for me, I don't know. It's just a very solid movie. If I were to try to describe it, it's one of those perfect script movies where it's just like, okay, you have all these characters, this like trio that works together quite well in contrast to each other, and they have all good dynamic. And it's quite a simple story. They're just like, yeah, there's this like fucking Curse of the Black Pearl, and then you go to this place, and then you go here, and then you go to here. It's just a bunch of like traveling around, along with just like, oh, there's two battles going on, and then Jack Sparrow needs to get arrested and some shit, and it's all good fun. It's all good fun, I think. Um, the main thing that I like about it is I think the first action scenes I kind of prefer over the later ones. I don't know if you would be inclined to agree on that one, but
And what do you mean by the first action scene? Do you mean the attack on the port?
the main things I'm talking about is like all the way up to when until the what was it, the island gets attacked by the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's all the stuff I kind of like in terms of action out of the movie.
Like the final sword fight between Jack and Barbosa.
That I kind of just like I kind of prefer all just like the first stuff, like all the opening set pieces, like the first couple. I guess for me, just the first couple set
Yeah.
pieces I prefer over the later ones. I'm not saying the later half is like bad. It's just I'm a tad bored by the later half. I don't know. It's a bit weird for me. Because on the
Hmm.
second viewing, I kind of also got bored at the same time I did last time. So yeah. Uh, what do you think of the rest of the movie as a whole in terms of how you view, I guess, like the characters, the action, all that shit. What's your
I
thoughts?
think it really is that like the whole thing is just a solid feature. Like it's well done. All the characters are great. It just looks and sounds good. The choreography is great. All the practical stuff is great. I don't watch it as like loads and loads of times like I did when I was a kid. I watch it the first three like every couple years. Every
Mm,
time I go back and I watch the first one, I'm like, ooh, it's like a very nice experience just watching the first one again. Like,
mm,
ooh, it's just cool. It's like
yeah.
a film.
Oh, when they like when Jack first fights, what was Orlando Bloom's character's name? I always forget his name. Orlando Bloom's.
Will Turner.
Yeah, Will Turner, and it's like, oh, they first meet at the blacksmith, and they just keep bouncing up and down from the roof. That's just really neat stuff. It doesn't feel goofy, surprisingly. It just feels legit tense, and it feels fun, riveting. It just feels smooth. It doesn't feel like it wastes any time doing anything out of order. It's a very just uncomplicated movie. It's for a really long movie, it doesn't feel its runtime most of the time. Because I know
I
all these
wouldn't
Pirates
expect
movies are
anything
long.
less from a movie based on a theme park ride.
Oh yeah, fuck
Like you would expect way worse than what you get in the film.
yeah. They tried doing fucking the same thing with Pirates but with Haunted Mansion. That certainly didn't work out both times. So
Or Jungle Cruise with The Rock.
I haven't seen that. How is that movie?
I haven't seen it either, but I'm considering doing a double bill with it just to like mark the differences about why that one just doesn't work
Because
against the first
I
part of
went to
the film.
Disneyland recently, while like near the end of June, and I remember going on the cruise ride, and at that point, it's just not a very like tidied up or like refined ride. It just feels like it's a vintage ride. We're keeping it the same, and the
What
what
do you
was it?
mean by it's not a tidy ride? What do you mean by
It's not,
that?
it doesn't feel refurbished. It just feels like it's been kept the same for a while, like a long
You
time.
sure that's not just the aesthetic
Yeah,
of the
it's just
ride?
kind of the aesthetic, and I think that's why Disney hasn't really changed much about it. Because even like the what was it, the cruisers, all the workers there, they just joke around on like mic while we're waiting in line. It's like, unfortunately, we are not closing, and it's like, oh wow, you really just got us there. You really thought we were just gonna all leave at the same time, but no, he tricked us. The damn fucking announcer. But yeah, he
What
pulled a
is the Jungle Cruise ride? Because we don't have that in the
yeah.
Disneyland I go to. I go to the one in Paris because that's
Mm.
cheaper and less further away.
You
Because
guys
I'm
got
a
that
British man.
Ratatouille ride. Yeah, you guys get that.
Yeah. So what do you do on the Jungle Cruise ride?
Okay, the basic thing about it is you just ride in and you just go around to see a bunch of animals, and slowly but surely you see these like animatronic humans slowly just all disappear and get killed. Like there's this boat that
Oh,
just flips over and the monkeys are like taking over. And then
oh,
there's a human like stuck on a tree. He looks really fake, but I think it's just funny to me to see just like this animatronic trying to get this animatronic human. And it's like, oh, that's funny. And even the cruisers, they know like, yeah, the piloters or whatever, the drivers are just like, yeah, this all looks fake, but I like commit to the bit. It's like, oh no,
mm,
oh look, he's dead. Oh well. And he just like I guess are just it just really depends on the host. If your host is a lot more lenient and doesn't really care, he'll probably make a lot of jokes about how just like, oh, humans die. Oh well. And he like reminisces about all this stuff. There's even like a bunch of just there's not a lot of action to it. It's just like looking at stuff, and I think it's fun.
mm.
Just nice little just set pieces. They're not refined or anything. It feels vintage. They just work fine enough. Um,
Sounds a bit like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Have you been on that one?
yes, I have. That
Yeah,
one
it's like the
oh
it's like the Pirates of the Caribbean
that one
ride.
has a lot more atmosphere to it, but
Oh,
um,
I love the Pirates ride.
oh, so good. It's slow, but I think it's the nice kind of slow where it's like, oh, just going around, you get to see all these new people, and they even refurbish it. I remember, for the fifth movie, I remember there's this like marketing stunt where Johnny Depp just like acted as Jack Sparrow on the ride, and he spooked a bunch of like writers thinking, oh, he was just an animatronic, but no, it's like, oh, I'm the real human being. Hi, how do you do? And he like greets everyone. It was funny. For
That's
that sounds cool. But the movie itself probably was bad anyway. So.
That film is bad.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I think the ride is great. Although in like the last couple of times I've been there, they've started adding more stuff from the films.
Yeah, they
'Cause
did.
the last time I went to Disneyland, when I went on the ride, they had Davy Jones show up. Who's
Oh,
the villain in the second and third film.
oh, weird. I don't remember that.
Yeah, he shows up for like a little bit. And I'm like, oh, really? That sounds fun.
Is that a new addition? Is that for
Yeah, he's a new
everyone?
addition, and then also there's an
Oh,
animatronic of Jack Sparrow at the very end as well in
oh yeah.
the
Well, I
in the
remember that.
pirate in the cave with all the gold. He's there at the very end of the ride
Yeah.
instead of just a skeleton. I'm like,
Oh, you remember heard of that real skeleton thing where they during like one of the skeletons on like the throne that's like a real skeleton or some shit.
ah, yeah, I heard about that.
I don't know how they. I don't know if it's still there, but that's weird. Think about.
Recycling. I respect that.
I have a lot of memories of being obsessed over attractions and like Easter eggs and abandoned ones. Those are fun times.
What's that Winnie the Pooh one that everyone talks about?
Oh, which one? I don't remember
There's
that.
that one where there's like a Winnie the Pooh ride, and there's something about country bears, and someone says it's creepy or something. They don't have it in
Oh,
the Paris.
the country bears. Yeah,
Yeah,
those used to exist, but I think they just removed it. I think the
yeah, but
animatronics.
there is still one in the Winnie the Pooh ride
Yeah, that's
because
what it
that's what
was.
that's what
Yeah,
it used
that's
to
what happened.
be.
They used a skeleton of it or something, and they like implemented it in there. That's funny to think about.
Yeah.
Um, I remember there was another legend of just apparently some people just throw their ashes in the pirates ride. Some put it just at the castle. Really, you can find ashes anywhere at Disneyland. They've been trying to monitor this shit, but it still happens.
You can find alligators in the moat around the castle.
Well, that's mainly for Canada. For what did I say? Canada, not Canada.
Florida.
Florida, classic Florida. Yeah, and it's like, oh, yeah, there's alligators. The one time the kid died, but that was like
Yeah.
outside of the park. So yeah, it's a bit weird.
Mm.
Although I heard they just like they just like leaded all the alligators out of there, so I guess it's fine now. Oh well.
Mhm.
I wish there was more
No.
alligator incidents. That would be funny. Well, actually, no. Those would be horrible deaths. I didn't mean that. No, no, no. But yeah, yeah. Those are. There's a lot of Disneyland stuff that are cool, but that's for
Mm.
another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pirates ride
So what I was
itself is good.
yeah, back to the pirates, right? So what I was saying about the ride is that I like the ride. I like the aesthetic. I love the atmosphere. It's just a great ride. And the thing about the film is that it replicates so much of the ride, of the original ride. It has
Yeah.
everything in there. It's got there's the scene with Barbosa where he takes the rum and he's in the moonlight, and you can see that he's dead, and he takes the rum and he empties it all out, and it just kind of like falls out of him and all sorts. And it's just like the ride with the skeleton and the
Oh
rum's just
yeah,
falling
no,
out.
so cool. There's like
That's in the
this,
ride.
like okay,
All of
I know like the Pirates ride is like a dark ride, but they somehow replicate it even though it's like a high seas blockbuster. I don't know how they did it. A lot of it really feels just atmospheric. There's just I always look at this one as like the really orange and dark one. It always
because of the
feels like
poster.
yeah, mainly that, and also just the whole film just feels like that. That scene with Jack in like that bar where he's talking to his like friend and is, like talking about oh
Yeah.
we could get you a ship. I just really like the look of everything around that area. Really feels
Especially
like
yeah,
a different.
when they go to Tortuga, it's just replicated straight off the ride. There's
Yeah,
all the wenches and all the drunken pirates. Everybody's singing and dancing, and
yeah.
it's like a whole thing. It's like yeah, it's exactly like the ride. It's great.
Oh, it's so cool. It like really hits like my fucking like theme park brain. It really hits that. It's so nice. The one thing I'll give Disney for all their shit is well, at least their older films just really has a good atmosphere. I always love it. Their parks still have atmosphere as well. Like that's their
Mm.
consistent thing. They always add to that. Really adds to the immersion. A Universal could
Uh,
give no shit. Like they can barely hide shit. They just say, "Yeah, it's a studio
I've never
lot."
been to Universal, but people say it's good. But what's your personal opinion?
It's a fun place. It's open about its shamminess and it's how it's like a studio lot and all that. They have a studio tour, and even like the tour guys when we get to like the Jaws section where there's like the fake animatronic and the burning fire, it's like okay, yeah, it's the shark. He's not real, but hey, oh no, look at that diver. He definitely died. And it's like you could tell he's like, yeah, no, everyone's in on the joke. It's just like it's a traditional place. I missed the Jaws ride. They removed the Jaws ride a long time ago, but they kept the studio tour version around. I don't know why. Weird.
Mm.
I don't think they have it in Florida though. But I haven't been to the Florida area anyway. Shoo. Um. Fuck. I'm getting into theme park brain mode. God damn it.
Get out of there.
I
We're
gotta
talking
get
about
out
a
of there.
movie.
Talk about a movie here. So yeah,
What do you think about
Jack
Oh
Sparrow.
yeah, go on.
Jack Sparrow. Do you like Jack
Yeah,
Sparrow?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mm, so good.
What about
Um,
him? Yeah,
I
he's
He's
really
really
good.
good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite of Johnny Depp's roles. I kind of like Ed Wood more. I like Ed Wood more in terms of like as a character, but him in this, I heard he's just very consistent throughout, which is why I'm excited to get to the other ones, just mainly for Jack. Um, for the other ones, Will, I like Will. I don't really like
Yeah,
what was the girl's name? I forget her name.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, she's okay, but they all
I
just
think she's
I
great.
think they all operate well. I just don't really care that much for her, particularly. I don't
Why
know.
is that? What makes you say that? You just hate women?
Whoa. Okay. Now we're gonna be going a bit far in the statements. Um, I just think
I'm sorry.
she has a very typical arc. I don't think it's a. it's a functioning arc. I think it's a really well done arc. I just don't think it's that interesting for me personally, which is why I just don't really care that much for her. Um, uh, I
I think I like her a lot more in hindsight because she's very competent and she's very smart
That's the
and
one thing
she
I'll give it. She's always like competent. She always tries things. Like she's willing to sacrifice this necklace, this black pearl, just like to tease everyone, and she tries to make the right decisions even
oh
under
yeah
like
when she holds
yeah
the medallion over the water and she's like yeah that's cool when
she
she gets
like she's a
Jack drunk just so she can
yeah
like burn all the rum so she can light a signal for the navy to find them like that's
yeah
great she's very crafty and I like that.
she's a very crafty person. I like that she both is oblivious to the pirate way of life. Like she doesn't know like the exact things and how like the rules are mostly like just sort
More
of
like
they're
guidelines
more like
anyway.
guidelines anyway. Yeah, and it's like yeah, she's just she's both competent. She's like competent and she tries her best, but also she isn't quite socially aware of all the things pirates do because she's been living
She's
in
not a
like
pirate.
royalty. Yeah,
She's
she's just like
high
in royalty.
class
Yeah.
normal woman.
Okay, maybe I do like her. Never mind. What am I doing? What am I saying?
Yeah, and she goes on like all through. Well, not Jack really. Jack just stays the same through all the films.
Oh,
But like Will and but I mean, he's not really the main character in the first film. But after
yeah,
the
not
first
really.
film, big emphasis on Jack Sparrow. He's the main character in all the rest of
Mm,
them. Then,
yeah.
but even then in 2 and 3, Will and Liz they go on like they change as people. They're completely different by the end of the third one than
Ooh.
how they started off. It's a whole thing, and I really like it. For all
Yeah,
the problems,
yeah,
for all
that
the
cool.
slight problems that 2 and 3 have, they're not one of them. Those two are great.
Yeah. Right. The I just think all the character arcs work really well in this movie, cause Jack, he's kind of just more of a loner. He's more of an outsider because he's been basically abandoned by all his pirate friends, and so it just has these two guys, and he's basically just kind of a loser throughout the entire movie, and yet he's one of the most iconic characters of the movie, or
He's a loser, but he's just so cool and fun.
he's he's kind of like Johnny Depp's Ed Wood, where they're both like they try their best. They both like I guess really believe in it. Well, actually, Jack is more apathetic, but still, they're they they still keep going despite the fact that they probably shouldn't. They just keep going on adventures. They keep trying things, cause why not? Why not do it? And I guess Jack learns to have, I guess, some sort of empathy and some loyalty or some sort of honor, because before he just didn't have any. But in this, he sort of tries to be, nice, like a normal person. And
Mm.
it's not that he wasn't, it's just that everyone views him as this, like, disgusting, like, pirate who just doesn't have any competency. Like, in the beginning, it's just like, oh, look at this stupid pirate. And when he saves their like daughter or like Elizabeth, and they all
Yeah.
blame him even though he saved her. And it's like, oh, well,
Well, they do say, "Well, thank you," but then when Norrington like exposes that he's a pirate, everyone just turns on him
yeah,
because pirates are
exactly.
bad.
It's just like even like it's like okay, as long as they don't know he's a pirate, he's like a good human being to them. But when he has that label, he's just worthless to them or just scum of the earth. And
I mean, he is kind of
he is kind of,
pirates. Pirates are bad.
but humans are more complicated than pirates are bad, and higher authority is
The
better.
Royal Navy are the good
Yeah,
guys. Pirates are bad.
yeah. It's like near the beginning, the Royal Navy. It's like these two guys. They argue about like whether or not this like ship is real. I forgot the exact name of the ship, but they argue like whether or not it's even a real thing. It's like no, I've
Oh, the
seen
Black
it.
Pearl.
Yeah, the Black Pearl. There's like oh, I've seen it come through on the port, and one of them's like no. I've never seen that happen before, and they just keep arguing about nonsense that doesn't matter, but they still do it. It's like, yeah, and then the pirates take advantage of that. It's like there's a clear, I guess, government system and dynamic between like the world and the pirates. It's like all clearly laid out in a really well done way. I think just
Mm.
It's a competent movie with a competent script, and it looks really nice and atmospheric because of Disney budget. It's all really nice.
Yeah. I'm amazed by how much they do in this film and how practical it is
Oh yeah.
compared to what like stuff that comes out now they do.
Mm.
Do you want to know the budget for this film? Because I looked it up when I watched it back the other day with some other friends. Do you want to know what the budget is?
What was it?
$140 million.
Surprisingly low. It's actually
I
the
know
same,
it
but
is.
it's around the same budget as Haunted Mansion, and that looks worse. God.
And I always come back to this. Recently, I always come back to Indiana Jones 5, 295 million. And
Jesus Christ. I forgot that's like one of the most
the
expensive
money's
movies
not on
ever
the
made.
screen.
It's like one of the most expensive movies ever made or something.
It is one of them. But there's
Yes.
also Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One, 300 million as well. Money's on the screen. I can see it.
Yeah, money's on the
I don't know where the
screen.
money went.
No, the main
Yeah,
thing
the money is
about
on the screen.
MI7 is if you haven't, there's this really good video on the production of the movie. Basically, due to the pandemic, there was basically an inflection cost for all the damages waged and having to like reschedule, different sets, and it just kind of inflated the budget to like that budget it is right now, which is why it's not making money. If,
Hmm.
because I guess Tom Cruise really wanted to continue filming it, which makes sense, and but having to do that costed them so much money. But it's good that it's a back-to-back production, so they have one more chance as long as the production doesn't become a mess, which it probably won't, because we're not on like
Have you heard the
pandemic
leaked?
heights.
Have you heard the leaked audio from the
Oh
Mission
yeah,
Impossible set?
that's
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 great.
it's not Christian Bale levels of audio leaks, but it's close. It's close.
But I like Tom Cruise. I don't care what people say. I know people don't like him because of all the Scientology stuff. I don't. I look past that. I think Tom Cruise is awesome. I love his
Yeah.
dedication, and you can really feel it through all the through the leaked audio. He
Yeah.
really cares about what he's doing.
I get that his overreaction is definitely not warranted, especially for the workers. But at the same time, you really do need to follow procedures. But he didn't really need to
I
burst
think
out
I
like
think he
that.
was completely justified. I think he was justified in what they were doing because they are professionals who
Not
should know what
completely.
they're doing.
It's not completely, but yeah, they are. He is justified in trying to like keep things tidy and having to follow regulations because they're professionals. They have to keep. He says he wants to keep the industry alive. So it's not any
Yeah.
malicious intent or anything. It's just that he had an overreaction about it. He has a reason for why he chose to say what he did. So yeah,
Hmm.
he's not a bad guy. Wait, what
He's
was
not a
he?
bad guy.
He's
He's
not,
just committed because he
he
cares.
he cares a lot about Scientology. I mean, he cares a lot about his job. Um, his job. Yeah, but yeah, he in terms of um a Hollywood star and in terms of a human being, he's better than most in Hollywood, I
I
think.
think he's the best one. I think he's the best Hollywood star we've got right now.
He's the only one, I think, maybe.
What about The Rock?
Well, he did have Black Adam this year. Wait, no, last year I meant. So,
Ugh,
ooh,
I
fuck.
fucking hate The Rock.
Yeah, at least he gave money to the strikes, I guess. Which might be,
I
which
guess that's
might,
true.
which might be just fake attempts for sympathy and clout. But who knows? Who knows what goes through his head? There's probably a lot of
I
things
know.
going through
I
the
always
Rock's
I
head.
always bring it back to Keanu Reeves, where he anonymously donated like half of his Matrix Four budget, half of his Matrix Four salary to a charity. Where he did it anonymously. He didn't publish it or anything. He just did it
Yeah,
quietly.
Keanu Reeves. Um, he's a quiet man, but he's a
You
very
can
good
say what
man.
you want about John Wick, but Keanu Reeves, he really is just nice,
No,
pleasant
no,
guy.
yeah, no. For all the tragedy in Keanu's life, he's a very good human being. I like him a
Hmm.
lot. I don't like the John Wick movies, but we'll save that
Oh,
for another day.
they're just a bit of fun.
Well, well, okay, sure.
Back to Pirates of the Caribbean.
A much more competent action movie. Oh. Yeah.
What was I guess? Oh yeah, Jack's entrance into the film is great.
Ooh, so good. I love that opening. It's like, oh, it looks like this like confident like shot. It's like as he sees the sunrise, and then you realize, oh, wait, no, his ship is about to sink. Okay.
It's not even a big boat; it's a dinghy.
Yeah, it's a dinghy. Yeah.
But
It's-
I also like the little bit where he tips his hat to the skeletons, the dead pirates that are hanging.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
He,
like
he
neat
has
little
some.
point.
Yeah, he has some respect for the dead. It's like he cares about people. Just that, he's he's just been a bit of a scallywag, if you get what I'm saying. He's been kind of a fool around the world. But
Mhm.
yeah, like I said, Jack is a good person deep down. And then Will, his whole thing, I like his thing, and I've already explained why. I actually like Elizabeth instead of not like her. I like her now. Why was I thinking otherwise?
I think I said this to somebody, but I think I really like. I keep on saying the actors' names instead of character names. I like Elizabeth and Will. They're like the Jim and Pam of
Mm.
Pirates of the Caribbean. And someone told me to shut up and stop being stupid, but I was like, I don't know, it kind of works.
Jack Sparrow as Michael Scott doesn't sound like a bad idea. He, I think he'd be funny.
Oh, he even hits on Elizabeth, just like how Michael was always flirting with Pam in the earlier
Oh wait, wouldn't that
seasons.
mean he would fuck Elizabeth's mom? Equivalent, for The Office.
I
Man.
think we're
Okay,
well, I think we're onto something.
maybe we're reaching it. I don't know.
I think we're reaching.
Maybe,
But no,
maybe.
I just really like. It's the same way how I like Jim and Pam. They're just very sweet together. Elizabeth and Will,
Yeah,
and he's
they
shy
got the
and
good dynamic.
humble. He
Yeah,
doesn't know how to handle it, and he wants to be with her, but he's just a lowly blacksmith. But he's so good with swords and all. Aww.
it's all nice. It's very
And she
nice.
really likes him, but she can't be with him because he's just a blacksmith and he's not a naval officer. No.
Yeah, you see something schmaltzy like that when you work with something like no. Let's say one of the older Disney movies. If they try to do that, that would not. I think it would just be very obvious. But this
What
handles
do you
it
mean?
well.
What kind of old Disney film?
Something like from the 50s or like 40s, they would really handle it with just something like Cinderella. It's like, uh, no,
Well, we're like
we gotta stay with time.
both love interests have no personality. It's all
Yeah,
about all the other characters in the film.
yeah. It's like, oh, but I know it's a trope for like, oh, I can't marry you. You're lower class than me. Something like Titanic. But in stuff like Titanic, they actually do it really well. I like it.
I love Titanic.
I
I
love
don't care what
Titanic.
anyone says.
Yeah, I love Titanic. I get schmaltzy about it. I don't think it's a perfect movie, unlike my rating says. But I think in my mind it is. I and anyone who
I
says
mean,
otherwise, you are valid, but also I do not care. Uh,
James Cameron films have always got like cartoonish characters. They're all the fucking same.
look
Everyone
at
says,
look at
"Oh,
aliens.
Ava-
Fucking look at aliens.
Avatar." Avatar is like everyone says, "Oh, Avatar." All the characters are like cartoonish. Like, but have you watched any of the James Cameron film? They're all cartoon characters.
Have you seen Aliens and the
I have
Marine
seen
Corps?
Aliens. There's quite a few.
There's quite
Don't try.
okay. Tell me like one of the random like Marine Corps from like the opening. Do you think you care about them? No, you don't. Stop
But
pretending you do. You
I
just like
do kind of.
you just like their like basic personalities, which is fine. So I don't know.
Yeah, but
That's fine.
no one ever says like the Marines from Aliens are deep characters. You just like them because they're fun, and then you feel kind of bad when they get ambushed by the aliens. And we're
Jack
talking
and
about like
Rose are
what's his name? Who's the guy who works for the company? And
the
who's the
robot.
guy?
The robot.
No, not Bishop. The other guy,
Uh
the guy that gets killed by who sells them out, and then he gets killed in a
oh, the guy who sells
cupboard.
them out. I forget his name, but he was very notable
Like,
because he was just
yeah, him.
he's a douche.
He's kind of like yeah,
Yeah.
he's a douche. But
Yeah.
like no, everyone else besides Ripley, Bishop, and Newt, everyone else is just kind of like low. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
I
like
wouldn't even
the
say Newt is developed. She's like a cute girl. That's it. That's all she
was it
is.
the
I
just
mean,
develop, but she's also helped the development for Ripley.
Yeah, well,
as
yeah,
well.
no, she's more like a plot device for Ripley. Not saying she's a nothing character, but she functions in order to, work well with Ripley for her to motivate her character. It's really all about Ripley. And Bishop, I wouldn't even say Bishop is like super well developed. He's literally a robot, but like
Well, it's more
you
just
remember
about
him.
how Ripley doesn't trust him because of what was the guy's name from the first film?
I forget his name. I know
But him, that guy,
that
the
random
character
guy.
played by Bilbo Baggins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that character. She doesn't trust him because of the stuff that happened in the first film, and he's gotta prove himself that he's trustworthy. Bishop's trustworthy. He's got to prove himself
Yeah.
because Ripley's got it. She don't like
By which he means he
what's
has
he
to prove
called?
he's human or some way, I guess.
He's got to prove he's trustworthy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember alien character names besides Ripley. So, well, yeah, I remember Newt and Bishop, but I don't know. Outside of that, I'm like, I don't care. Like, who the hell are you? Who the hell is
Hicks. I know
that?
one of the characters is called Hicks. I
Oh
forget
wait,
who
no,
it
I
is.
remember Hicks. I think it's the lady. I think we're talking. I forget. Man,
I've even forgotten the cat's name.
there's so many characters in Alien. God, and Aliens as well. God damn it.
Oh, don't even get me started on the rest of the Alien films.
Oh, well, I'm actually gonna watch Alien
Oh
3
my!
soon. That'll be great.
Oh boy.
Mm.
Well, we keep getting off topic. Back to pirates.
I know we keep going off topic about these things. I think it works. It's fine. We could go on about a bunch of bullshit. This is your time. It's fine.
uh, but no, pirates. It's a solid film. I like pirates. My favorite character is Barbossa, and he is my favorite character in all five of the films.
I
He's
like
the most
Barbosa. I like Barbosa.
he's the
He's
most
great.
consistent. He's just awesome.
He is. He's fun. Personally, I think I like Jack more. I know that's a basic pick, but
Everyone says, oh, my favorite is Jack.
yeah, I know. God, but yeah, Johnny Depp is a very good actor. He makes a very charming performance. He's great. I like him. God damn it. I wish I could be quirky and say I like Barbosa or any other character, but no, I like Jack. Well, yeah. Uh, The romance is good, just like Jack and Rose in Titanic, and there's a lot of good action. There's a lot of good things in this movie. It's all just tightly packed in this good package. There's no fat. It just works. Ah, it's like it just. I guess really, there's so much simple functioning things in this movie that it's barely noticeable. But when you actually talk about it, there's really a lot of things going on in the movie. But
Mhm.
they convey it within such ease that you don't really think about it that much, and you're just kind of
Yeah,
enjoying yourself, which is what blockbusters should be. They don't need to
yeah.
be about the the Book of the Dead or incursions or multiverses or Modoc. Modoc.
Ugh,
Good God. They
please.
could be just about, I don't know, a dude who ends up in the middle of the ocean, he finds a boat, goes do something. I don't know. There's not really. It doesn't really need to be like anything like overcomplicated. You really just need really good characters to sustain a plot that you can make as complicated as you want. I don't care. Like it could be the most convoluted thing possible while still making sense, of course, but having like really good characters, you know?
Yeah.
Which is what Marvel blockbusters aren't. So,
I
yeah.
don't even know. I don't even know what they are anymore.
What are they? What are they? They're just like teasers for things that will never happen. They just kind of exist in this weird plane of existence. Have you
Well,
tried?
Guardians 3 was good.
What?
It's just like how it used to be.
Oh, do you like Guardians 3 because it was connected to Phase 5?
No, I just liked it because it was a good Marvel film, but also just in
Exactly.
general. It was just a good
Exactly.
film in general.
Yeah.
I like James Gunn. I'm the biggest James Gunn shill anyone knows in our friend group.
Volume 3 is it's okay. It's okay. Um, I like what it concludes. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts and other things, but that's fine. I think it's a good conclusion as a overall movie by itself, while still being connected to other things. I don't think it works super well, but there's a lot of cool stuff in that movie. Unlike, oh, I don't know, Eternals, Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. That's a very important subtitle. Um,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, my
You know, I
mind just
still
my mind just went brain dead. Oh my god,
Black Widow, Multiverse of Madness, Quantum Mania.
good god. Have you tried what?
I
Have you
still
heard?
have not seen Eternals.
Have you heard
Still not
stuff
seen that one.
about that Secret Invasion show? That was really weird what they're
I've not
doing there.
seen that either. I'm not watching that.
I'm
Give me
not
that.
watching that. No, you you know God could drag me to heaven in order for me to watch it, and I wouldn't give a shit. I'm not watching that. Like it it looks like another Marvel show, by which I mean it looks like shit. So yeah. Um. Uh.
Pretty sure
uh,
that, but pretty sure that's also like a very expensive TV show.
yeah. Apparently it was
Let's see what the
it's apparently a $200 million
Secret
show.
Invasion budget.
I think it was like
Oh,
150.
212 million.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's like a $200 million show,
Yep.
and it looks like shit. Have you seen that?
That's what.
Yeah. The twist is that the scrolls have like all superhero DNA or some shit, and they can just do whatever they want. I don't know how that
This will
works.
this will never get brought up again in the later ones.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
get forgotten about.
and the fact is, Rhodey, his whole thing throughout after a civil war doesn't mean anything apparently. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
great.
Rhodey was a scroll since Civil War.
That's so stupid. What are they doing?
Wasn't even there for when Tony died.
They wouldn't. They won't be able to explore that at all. They wouldn't do that. They don't have the balls to do that anyway.
Hmm.
It's very sad. But yeah, I don't know. This is a. I like both of these movies for very different reasons, and we talked a lot about theme parks, Marvel
Yeah,
shows, and other unrelated things. But I
yeah.
think overall this is a success and feels just in line with my title of the podcast, The Dumps. It's a bunch of random
But
shit.
yeah,
Yep. I hope
that
you
title
enjoy.
does work. That's a good title.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Next time we are doing a Barbenheimer episode. We're not. We're not doing that. You can't make me do that. It's never
I got
happening.
excited for a second.
You got excited, say. Well, okay, I can briefly talk about them. Hi, this is a post-editing Xander here. Just so you know, we went on like 40-minute tangent about a bunch of different 2023 shit. And you can say it kind of goes to the overall point about, pirates and how different it is compared to modern blockbusters nowadays. But also it's bonus content. It's just a bunch of tangents and well, I guess that's the dumps for you. So that yeah, enjoy that in some way. Barbie's not a very good movie with a very poorly done message, but it's a funny movie. Would you
Yes,
say
I liked Barbie too. I liked
it's
it all the way up until the last half hour where I just was very
same?
disappointed.
I'm very disappointed by that ending. Very severely
Ryan
disappointed.
Gosling was the best part. Everyone's already said that.
Yeah, and then they made
So
him just an unsympathetic villain for no reason. It's like no, he has
but I didn't.
sympathy.
I don't know. I was rooting for him. I
I was
liked him.
I don't know.
I still liked him.
They weren't fair towards men. Not that I'm misogynist. I think just both genders should be given an
Equal.
equal. But no, the Barbies are given their higher power again, and they don't I guess allow men to be in their government. So
Well,
basic.
they get one. They get one. They got to work towards it until everything's as equal as it is in the real world. It's got to be equal in the real world before it's equal in Barbie Land.
That's no, that's a really weird way to go about it. I don't know. They really should have been more cut and dry about it. And also, they really looked at gender as two genders and not a spectrum. So yeah, there's a ton of there's no talk about just non-binary or anything. It's just like yeah,
Yeah, that's that as well.
it's it was almost great. It was almost great.
I really wanted to like love it like everyone else is because I was really excited to see the film. I
Same.
didn't have ironic Barbie hype like everyone says I did.
It.
I did want to see it.
I knew at least the movie looks really good. I like everything about how it looks. Looks really nice. And then the real world stuff that's a bit too cartoonish for my liking. I think they really could have grounded
Yeah.
it a bit more. I really think they should have done that.
Mm.
As for Oppenheimer, ooh, I think I wrote a pretty meaty review on that one, so I don't think I have any more to say about it. But
It was a good review.
yeah, thank you.
Um,
It's my favorite of the year. I'm pretty sure now. It used to be the John Mulaney comedy special we talked about earlier, but no, it's actually Oppenheimer now. So that was quite a
I think
turnaround.
I
Hmm.
think if I included comedy specials in my 2023 ranking, I think the John Mulaney special would probably still be at the top. Although Across the Spider Verse, I really want to rewatch it again.
Okay, let me pose a couple questions for you. So
I go on.
they established that the spiders you can't interfere with their whole canon. So by putting
Hey,
them in a spider society, wouldn't that also do that as well? Well, like you could argue it's just like it's not really a canon event, but it's still kind of interrupting it in a way.
no, the canon events are like big things. Like the main thing they point to is like Uncle Ben's death or someone else notable in their life, like Captain Stacy.
But wouldn't that limit
That's
the multiverse in a way? So I guess they
what do
didn't.
you mean?
Cause okay, I guess canon events aren't like definitive. They're kind of like concepts that Miguel thinks are happening, but it's like oh, so the canon events are by technicality just like these specific things have to happen to every single multiverse. There's no, but
If
when
these don't
but
happen,
is it
they don't become Spider Man. It's pretty
yeah,
much.
but wouldn't it also be different for everyone else as well? So wouldn't
Well, yeah, it's not everybody's Uncle Ben that dies because not
yeah,
every Spider Man has an Uncle Ben. It's just like a similar sort of character who
I
acts like an
guess.
Uncle Ben that dies.
The really only other weird thing about it is just there's probably more questions I could ask if I rewatched it, but it's a really cool movie to watch. I think most of it.
There's
Although they really strung at my fucking like heart with the ending. There's like, yeah, we're gonna keep moving, we're gonna keep going. We're getting you real excited. Oh yeah, by the way, it's over now. It's like, oh man.
that's kind of what you want though. You want the audience to be left wanting more.
Well, it doesn't feel necessarily sad like a satisfying like cliffhanger. It doesn't feel like a complete movie.
Well, even I said that, but because it sets up like 10 different plot strands, and only like one gets resolved at the end, which is all about Gwen's stuff, which starts at the beginning and then gets finished when there's
Yeah,
like
Gwen is
nine other
really like
things
the
to
heart
get
of
into.
it. Yeah, it's like oh,
Yeah, I think
she introduces
all the
it
stuff
and
with
she ends
Gwen
it.
is good enough.
Yeah, no, I really like all the Gwen stuff. Um, I know like people have like started to question the world building. I could probably try to think of it a lot more, but I've only seen it once, so I guess I could hold my thoughts on that in some way.
It's still not out digital yet.
I think it's August 8th. Yeah, August 8th or something.
Ooh, 5 more days.
Ooh, I'm ready to just pause every single frame. God damn, such a fucking beautiful movie. I forgot how.
What was the thing that Shea Frillis said? I can't wait to watch this film at
Yeah, the zero point
0.75
I see
speed
it.
with
Yeah,
subtitles.
yeah. There was a lot happening in that movie. Oh my god. Oof. Man, yeah. The summer this this summer compared to the older movies that we've talked about today has been quite a mixed bag, I guess. So there's a
There's
lot.
been good stuff. There's good stuff this summer.
There's been good stuff. It's just way too overcrowded. I wish we could go back to like the one big blockbuster or something like Pirates, but I just think every movie just needs their equal footing now. They really do.
Well, probably the writers' strike and the actors' strike is probably going to shake some stuff up. So you never know.
Yeah. Looking at Pirates compared to something like Haunted Mansion, which is now failing miserably, I'm not judging it as a movie. I'm just judging it based on what's happening with it. Very sad to see that, like, something as prestigious as like a haunted mansion, like horror comedy, is not getting any attention. It might be a
Well, that's
fun
because
movie. It might
that's
be.
because the Eddie Murphy one still exists, and I think people like that one.
No,
I've
I
not
think
seen it.
okay. No, people hate that one, but some also
Oh,
like
do
it.
they?
Yeah, some
Oh,
the Puritans don't like it. But even like regular folk don't like it. But even some just like it in a weird way. Like Silent Dawn, I think Silent Dawn has it at like a 9 out of 10, and then he has the new one at like a 20. Fucking weird,
ooh.
man. I chose the Danny DeVito poster for the Haunted Mansion one.
There's like so much stuff. So many blockbusters have been like flopping. So many films have lost money.
Kind of a good thing. Kind
Rise
of.
of the Beasts lost money. I can't believe that.
Well, I guess that
Oh,
says a
did it
lot.
though? I don't know if it did. Did
Did
it?
it? I forget the budget of it. Rise of.
I think this might be the first Transformers film ever to like lose money
No, I
because
think
everyone goes to
didn't the last
everyone
night
goes
lose
to see
money?
it. All five of those Michael Bay films made money, and also Bumblebee made some money back.
We had a $200 million budget with a 429 million box office, and that's
I guess that's
well.
okay.
You also need to think about marketing. So
Oh yeah.
they earned about $100 million from that. Not that
Hmm.
much. And the Flash straight up fucking flopped hard. That was really bad. Really bad. Oh my
I mean,
god.
there's no saving that film unless. Well, I posed this thought where like, all right, they've had all these extensive reshoots. When we go to sit down, I'm going to expect a Flash film, but actually, it's just a Michael Keaton Batman sequel, and they would have duped us out of our money in a good way. Be like, whoa, I thought I was seeing a Flash film. No, I'm seeing a Batman film, but no, it's just a Flash film,
It's a
and it's a
Flash
very
movie.
bad Flash film, very bad Flash film.
Do you still stand by the 5 out of 10?
I don't know. I just didn't really care much when I watched it. I'd probably rate it lower if I rewatched it.
Hmm, I see, I see. So you're subjective about it. Got it, got it. You were like,
It doesn't
who
really care.
cares?
I don't like the film that much. I just didn't care about rating it that day. I just like Michael Keaton, even if they just wasted him.
They wasted him like a garbage dump. He looks so disinterested, and he's probably
Well, I
thinking.
don't think he's disinterested. I just think he's just the best part because he's good.
I don't think he's.
Even though I don't like
I don't
Michael
think he
Keaton
act.
Batman
I
that
don't think
much.
he. I don't know. He didn't have that energy to him that I thought he would.
That's because he's old now. He's not 30 back in the like he was when the
Well,
first
no,
films came out.
no. I think in Birdman. Have you seen Birdman?
I've not seen Birdman, but everyone
He's
says you
he's
gotta
old.
watch Birdman.
He's old in that, but he really puts his heart out into that one. And then this, he's like, "Let's get nuts." That's it.
You remember Let's Get Nuts? I remember Let's Get Nuts.
Yeah, I remember Let's Get Nuts. I love nuts, but
I'm also pissed off that they didn't continue on with George Clooney as Batman.
oh man,
I thought that would be so cool that they would just let him be Batman again, just to give him like a
so
proper fair shake. And
it's so funny to me that they had to go out of their way to contact George Clooney about this because he hated that role, and he returns and he's like, "Oh, I can finally be the Batman I truly wanted to be," and it's like, "Nah, he's not gonna be Batman for the next one. Sorry."
well, I don't think they wanted George Clooney originally. I'm pretty sure they wanted Christian Bale, but Christian Bale said, "No, I don't want to be in this.
Well,
No."
yeah, I mean, he said before he doesn't like doing like cameo shit. So,
Yeah, and also Love and Thunder might have had something to do with that.
also, if he pestered, imagine if they pestered enough and he got on set, but then he did like a similar meltdown, like with Salvation, Terminator Salvation.
Just takes one look at the green screen Ezra Miller. He says, "What the fuck are you doing?
We are done professionally.
You and me, we're fucking done professionally."
So stupid. That's such a good video. Such a good
I
video.
know. There's no video. It's just audio. But
Well, it's
I
just
would
audio, but
kill to see the video. I'd kill to see if there was a video of it.
if there was a visual of like everything happening, that would be so funny. Oh my
There's
god.
like an animated. There's an animated recreation, but there's no like actual official one.
Yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
It's
Like you,
fucking distracting.
he's so fucking angry, like irrationally angry throughout that entire thing. It's so good. I didn't think it'd be
Messing
possible.
around with the lights, I think the whole thing was.
No, it was both that and also like the dude like getting on set accidentally, like getting in shot or some shit. It's like, stop walking into shot. It's like,
Now it's useless now. Let's do it again.
I'm sorry,
I want
Christian.
you off the fucking set, you prick.
He sounds so like he's like talking like a 15-year-old, but he's like speaks with such hardened like 30-year-old energy. It's so weird. It's a really good clip. I cannot
He's
stop
just
thinking
committed
about
to
it.
the craft.
He's really committed to the craft. Imagine if he had to do like Genesis for like a cameo. I think he'd be even more angry about that.
He's not. He wasn't coming back after Salvation.
Oh yeah, no. Did Salvation make its money? I'm not even sure anymore.
Probably.
Hmm. If it did, I wonder if they would have continued it. I don't know what they could have continued with. But yeah,
But they do the nostalgia with Genesis.
swear to God, they changed John Connor's face every single film. It's like okay,
Yeah, different actor in the first one, different actor in the second one, different actor in the third one, in the fourth and the fifth.
yeah,
He's
okay.
not in the sixth one.
First two, they kind of look similar. Like it's not that bad. Then the third one's like, who the hell is that? Fourth one, who the hell is that? And then the fifth one's like, what? Why do
It's
you?
all different. It's all different timelines.
It's a different
Ooh,
timeline, but it's a terrible timeline. Why does he look like that? By
I
the way,
don't
that
know.
guy, the guy who did John Connor in Genesis, the fact
Yeah,
that
he's an Oppenheimer.
yeah, no, when he appeared in Oppenheimer, I was like, what the hell? I was like jump scared for a second. I was like, get trauma. I was like, what the
I was
hell?
like,
What are you doing
whoa,
here? What are you doing here?
it's John Connor.
This is like a really good movie. What are you doing in this movie? And he like acted his ass off in that scene. It was really good.
That's because he's probably a good actor. He's just in a bad film.
It's a really bad film. Oh, Barbie reached 900 million. What the hell?
Of course it did, because uh, it was marketed well.
God damn it.
I mean, I'm happy with that film making money than
It's
superhero
at
films.
least it's a more challenging movie than
But
like.
then they're also announcing sequels.
Okay, I'm so excited for the Uno movie. Are you hyped?
What?
There's gonna be like a bunch of Hasbro and like wait no Mattel movies.
I thought they were just doing more Barbie movies.
No,
What?
they're doing a Mattel cinematic universe. Did you not know about this?
Oh no! I thought
Th-
they were just doing Barbie sequels.
did you know they're doing one for what was it? Let me find it. They're doing one for American Girl, and for Thomas and Friends, for Masters of the Universe.
They're doing a Thomas and Friends movie.
They're doing that Barney movie with Daniel Kaluuya. Remember that? That's still in development. Apparently, it's gonna be R
I didn't
rated.
know. I didn't know that was happening.
It's gonna be R rated apparently, and it's like gonna be one of the most daring films of the decade. Like Daniel Kaluuya says. That's funny.
Hmm.
I forgot what else. There's like they're doing like a bunch of even obscure toys for some reason, too. So it's really weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're doing one for the Magic 8 Ball. I wonder what movie that's gonna be about. Are you excited for the Magic 8 Ball movie?
No.
Why
What are
not?
you gonna?
It's
Because I don't know what you're gonna do for story. Because the
okay.
Magic 8 Ball doesn't have any lore or source material.
No, okay. Hear me out. They do a Saw-like game where it's like, okay, if it rolls on yes, if it just lands on like maybe, it's like you're dead. You could get thrown into like the fucking woodcutter or something or something. What would they? What? Okay,
Hazy reply. Try again later.
okay. Can you pitch to me a Magic 8 Ball movie?
Uh, no, I can't.
You can?
Definitely not on the spot. No, I can't. That's a stupid
Aw,
idea.
I think it's a
That's
really good idea.
that's like a fake movie out of Tropic Thunder. Like a
Yeah.
trailer should.
Okay.
What are the? That'd be like a trailer that plays before our
I
film.
can imagine an Uno movie trailer parody in like Tropic Thunder where like, Ben Stiller, he's like playing the card and he gets like thrown around the
Yeah.
entire time. But yeah, some of these were announced in like 2021. What?
Ugh.
What? Okay, apparently this says according in 2021 Variety reported that an action heist comedy about the card game Uno was in development with rapper Lil Yachty circling the lead role.
When they mentioned rappers, I thought they were gonna have someone like Ice Cube. I
Can
don't
we
know who this person is.
can we have Kanye star in the Uno movie?
Has Kanye even been in a film?
I think this is just a funny screenshot of just putting Barney and then Daniel Kaluuya right next to each other.
Oh shit! Yeah, the Barney film.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
gonna be interesting.
He
I'm
said
quite interested to see that.
he said it would be darker and focus on identity and finding who you love and who you feel alienated by. I have no idea what that means. What the hell does ugh, Barney have to do with that? There's so many. There's gonna be a major Matt Masson movie. Have you ever heard of that toy? No one has, but they're making a movie
What
for
was
it.
it? What was that one?
A major Matt Mason. That's what I meant.
I've never heard of this before.
It's a '60s astronaut action figure. That's it.
I don't know this. I know Action Man. I do not know who Major Mason is.
There's American Girl. That one's sort of well known. There's a bunch of movies on those, but I guess they're doing a big one. There's gonna be one for Wishbone. I don't think anyone's ever heard of that one. Like I said, I'm just naming all
No.
these things. No one has heard of any of these, but they're gonna try doing it, and they're all gonna flop. They're gonna stop doing it. It'll be like the Dark Universe where they like get two movies in, and the second one fails. It's like okay, never mind, we're done.
Um, did you say something about a Thomas and Friends film?
Yeah, I guess they're doing another one of those because I know there's a bunch of 3D animated ones, but I guess they're doing a
Yeah,
big one again after what was the last big one? The Magic Railroad, I guess.
that was 20 years ago. That was over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Some people have been memeing for an Oppenheimer cinematic universe,
What?
and
What?
there's like fake videos of like a post credit scene of like Einstein inventing like an equation, and like people cheer, and it's like Einstein will return, and that's like the whole thing, I guess. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
god.
thing about the Thomas and Friends film is that for like years I've been following along for like any news about because they were thinking about doing a World War II inspired Thomas and Friends film.
Excuse me? What?
But, oh yeah, I've been hearing about this for like years, but it got like shelved or halted like years and years ago, and they haven't picked it up. But if this is what they're carrying on with now, I'm gonna be very interested because I really want to see what this film is trying to do.
Okay.
World War II Thomas and Friends
I
film.
wonder what star would join that World War II Thomas the Tank Engine film. Because I know
I wonder if they're gonna hire out actual trains.
we have Daniel Kaluuya with Barney, but my proposal is Chris Pine and Thomas the Tank Engine. That's my idea.
Also, we're gonna CGI his face onto a train.
Sounds stupid, but I kind of want it. Uh,
I don't. Can we just have puppet faces if we're gonna hire out actual trains?
no, we gotta have CGI. Remember?
No. Unless it's really, really good. No, thank you.
Can we have just a magic 8 ball with just I don't know, Ed Helm's face plastered onto it for no reason?
He just rolls along, and his face just keeps hitting the floor as he rolls along. He rolls up. Hi,
Hi.
I'm a magic 8 ball.
This sounds like a fake movie, but they're actually gonna do it. Oh.
What's up, Big Tuna?
Okay, can they make the Magic 8 Ball movie R-rated?
I don't know. They can do whatever they like. I just don't know if people are gonna be bothered.
Maybe Mattel Films will be the main place for all art house big budget projects, I guess.
I thought video game adaptations were gonna be the next big thing.
Nope, we're doing product movies. There's been a lot of product movies lately. There's Flaming Hot, then there's some Tetris, those type of things.
That's another video game movie, though.
I mean, technically, it's more about the product itself than the video game, which is a lot less
Yeah,
interesting to me. But yeah,
yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, it is a product movie and kind of a biopic.
Yeah, he has his Chinese wife and husband. Wait, husband? What?
What?
Chinese wife and baby or whatever. He has to like go to her recital. Isn't that what
No,
Edric?
that's Tetris. I'm talking about A.
Oh, Air. Now that's a much better
Yeah,
movie. That's fun. That was
because that
fun.
is a much better film.
I like Ben Affleck. I like it when he just randomly directs movies for no reason. It's like, yeah, I returned with Air after like a decade long break. Sure, that's
I
funny to me.
love Ben Affleck and Matt Damon collabs. They're great.
They're great. Yeah, can't imagine what else they would do. What other product movies can exist? I wonder.
The Emoji Movie. That was a product movie.
Well, we got the Hot Wheels movie coming soon. I'm excited for that one.
There's a Hot Wheels movie?
It's gonna be made by Warner Brothers and by the production company of, I think, yeah, a couple of the Mission Impossible movies. Oh, weird.
That could be good.
Oh wait,
They make.
they did production for Rise of Skywalker. Oh, okay.
Oh.
This is a really weird list of movies. Okay, you have like the modern Star Trek movies. Then you have Force Awakens, Mission Impossible. This is weird.
It's all J.J. Abrams related stuff.
Ugh. J.J. Abrams.
Ugh.
What we got? Yeah, these all look like movies that's gonna dominate the world. Are you excited for the hype around the Hot Wheels movie?
I don't have any particular strong feelings. I haven't had any particular strong feelings about Hot Wheels since I was 6 when I collected them.
I have a I have a car. I have a toy car right here, but it's not Hot Wheels. But it's technically a toy car, so I can make my own movie out of it.
I wouldn't mind collecting Hot Wheels, but I'm already too busy collecting other things, and it's just another hole in my wallet.
Mm. I know they already did Lego movies, but I wonder what they're gonna do. What Universal's gonna do with them now? Because
They're doing another Lego movie that's not a
Yeah.
sequel to the others.
I guess Universal's like basically stole two of Warner Brothers like IPs. You could call Nolan like Warner Brothers property, but they like changed now, and it's like okay, now Nolan's at Universal, and now the Lego movies are held by Universal as well. I don't know what they're gonna do with that,
Well, they're
cause
making another Lego movie, but it's not related to any of the other
I
ones.
think I heard it was a
So,
live action hybrid, but I could be wrong.
mm,
I don't remember. There's a lot of movies, man. A lot of
mm.
movies. This probably should have ended like a while ago, but I keep going. I keep
Let's bring it
talking.
back to Pirates of the Caribbean if you want to finish up.
No, we already finished Pirates. At this point, we're just talking about summer movies for now.
Oh, we didn't even rate it.
Oh right. See, like I said, the dumps is just a bunch of shit. It's just a bunch
All
of
right, let's do
shit, man.
Pirates first, and then carry on with other stuff.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so what are you rating Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's an 8
Black
out of
Pearl?
10, and I used to have it a low 8, 82 or something, but now it's like an 88. Sure. I like the movie a lot.
Hmm.
And it's not a 9 or 10, but close enough. Close enough.
I rate Curse of the Black Pearl a 10 out of 10. It's just solid across the board, and I miss films like this.
I missed movies like this before Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania showed up.
Ugh.
It's
What's the
just,
reverse of a glow up?
what has Disney done to themselves?
I don't know, but
They
they're in danger of shutting down.
they got their money for a decade and now they're repaying the consequences. It's really sad.
Like they were able to um, mess around for like the entirety of the 2010s, just doing whatever because they were fine,
Yeah, they
and
made
then
billions of dollars each year. They're fine.
and then they just fucking slipped up in these last 3 years.
Have you? Oh yeah, wait, no, you haven't seen Strange World, but you know it was a flop, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I know it's a flop.
great
It
times.
didn't look interesting, and I didn't want to watch it, and it completely passed me by.
That's what was pretty much every person in the entire world when it was announced.
Mm.
Yeah,
I was so disappointed with Lightyear. I really wanted to like that film, and then the final trailer came out, and I was, oh no. And then when I watched the film, it just got even worse.
didn't you like the Zurg twist? I could go on about really bad 2022 and 2023 movies. So great stuff to discuss. How long have we been talking, man?
I don't know.
Fucking 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. This this is this is what happened. This is what happens when I even mention Barbenheimer. I shouldn't have mentioned it. This is what happens. This is all the trends' fault. I hate trends. I like being counterculture. Fuck you. But yeah. So I can't even say that this is just about pirates and sausage party. This is kind of just
We've come so far from Sausage Party. It's just a distant memory now.
it's just it's a dump. It's a dump.
It's the dumps.
The dumps. And that was the episode. Um I hope to see you on the next one. I'll see you around another alleyway, whether or not I'll be alone or with someone. I hope you join us back for whatever next entails us, for whatever random knowledge we'll talk about, such as what we've talked about today, such as J.J. Abrams' production company, Bad Robot. Of course, you wanted to know about that. No one didn't want to know about that. Everyone wants to know about that. But yeah,
Yeah,
everyone wants to know about that. I hope
yeah.
I hope you ACritic, and I hope everyone else enjoyed our discussion here, because
Oh, I did. I had a great time today.
yeah, we had a great time. We had a jolly good time discussing a bunch of movies that don't matter.
Yes, and I wouldn't mind coming back for another episode.
Yeah, but that was the dumps. The show about
Ooh.
everything and nothing at the same time. For the next episode, we'll be talking about Community whenever I get to finish that show, because I'm currently on
Ooh.
season 3, and we have a special guest for that one as well. So go check that out. That'll be even longer than this one, and we're just talking about 2 movies on this episode, and it's 2 hours long. So you can imagine talking about a 6 season show and soon to be a movie, whole episode.
Six seasons
That'll be
in a
even
movie?
longer. Yeah, 6 seasons in the movie, and that'll be very fun. So yeah, see you in a
Goodbye,
different.
everyone.
See you later. I'll see you some other time.
Yeah.
Goodbye.